Carrie Mason.
All right. Can you all hear me? Is this good? I say y'all now because I work for a North Carolina-based company. It's also a genderless term, so it's great. I was putting my 7-year-old to bed last night, and she knew I was going on a business trip, and she said, "Mom, who are you going to try to get money from this time?" And I said, "It's not that type of a trip. None of us have any money. We're working on it, though. We're working on it." But a tiny bit about me. I started in media on the other side of the aisle. I was a journalist. I covered electronic dance music for Billboard for over a decade. True story. If you choose to Google me, the things you'll find might surprise you. I've interviewed Justin Bieber, Skrillex, Diplo, you name it. And it's just like a really short jump over to what I do today, right? But it really gave me, I think, a way to speak with editors from a very early time in my career. I'm also a Condé Nast boomerang. I was a maternity fill-in at Hearst Digital in 2008. Then I started the tour of the Great Towers of Media in New York. Spent some time at Condé. Took a little time off to run a music festival in Belgium with over 300,000 attendees. It's called Tomorrowland, and a volcano that erupts on the main stage. And then went back to Condé Nast, which seemed like the right transition. So I think we're going to talk a little bit now about a lot of the themes that we heard today. And I hope there's a lot of fodder for you. I joined Red Ventures after they acquired CNET from Viacom CBS in 2021 with the express goal of putting myself through the paces, because I did have this sense that media was moving down the funnel, that the up funnel was going to get more challenged, that everything was going to compress. Time is a flat circle. The funnel is also flattening. And I wanted to learn, because I knew that all the things I knew how to do really well could be helpful to folks who knew the lower funnel, and I wanted to learn from them as well. That's what I joined, and I think what you're about to see is about 2.5 years of working through that. What is Red Ventures? Well, I went to our company's website to tell you, because it's hard to know, right? When you look at our website, this is what you see. That #1 in the US is the tech news site, that's CNET, and I work on the CNET group. I think it's actually similar to Arena in that we are verticalized by business area, and CNET Group is within the tech space. We have 25+ proprietary brands. We have thousands of employees, also true, 100+ other sites, right, that are not brand forward sites. But what we also do at Red Ventures is run media and marketing programs for a lot of clients. And that's the foundation of the business and the company into which a traditional media organization was invited into via acquisition. I was the first external hire after that acquisition. I had not been at CNET previously, and I had not been at RV previously, which gave me a really interesting vantage point to merge these two cultures and to find the pitch within there externally. So we're not a media company. We would not define ourselves as such. We do marketing. There's a really strong ethic at Red Ventures to bring up talent. We have an intern class every single year that go on to be analysts and associate managers and managers. There's a clear published trajectory. There are regular performance reviews, and that alone has allowed me to bring in a lot of traditional media folks into this company, because I think it's what a lot of folks have been craving in their own careers, is to be recognized for your performance. So how we think, we've always talked about being consultative in media, right? I've always said we have to be consultative back to the times of Condé Nast. And a lot of times what you're saying is we want to be consultative to sell the CMO a media package. At RV, we're thinking, what are the challenges of the CEO? What are the business challenges? What are the headwinds that they're facing? What's the latest earnings report, right? How can we get in there and help them close gaps, fix breakage? It's different. Media might not always be the answer, and we're super comfortable with that. But we're going to find a way that some of our associated products or capabilities are going to help. And that's the essence of the pitch. Transaction, when Steve asked me to talk about commerce, I said, do you mean like affiliate? What do you mean when you say commerce? And I realized my brain has been so retrained over the last 2.5 years that I don't think of it as a separate revenue line anymore. It is such a part of what we do, right? I guess you could say that's performance marketing, but we do more than performance marketing, right? I think it is pretty unique. All tactics can contribute to that end goal, whether it's a transaction or something else. Someone just pump up my volume? Felt like it. Lean in. But when we are talking about performance, we are obsessive optimizers. I love alliteration, but it's also true. We were at a meeting with a social platform, and they were giving us their best practices. I was with some of our young, talented analysts. They said, we recommend that you optimize your campaigns every 1 or 2 weeks. And I said, how often do you optimize your campaign? She's like, every hour. That's how we think. And that's where that performance comes from, and that's how we're different. How we act, also different. Radical transparency, no silos at all. No brand covetousness. I have to credit with some of the sales leaders at Condé Nast for being the first to put up sales rankings on a board that marketers could see. That changed the trajectory of my career and allowed me to take more sales and revenue-focused roles because I understood what I was working towards and for. At RV, it's that times 100. We have full P&L visibility for everyone on our entire team, from the junior employees to the C-suite. Radical candor. This is a feedback culture. Things that you never had anyone tell you about your own performance will be told to you at RV, immediately following the meeting where you demonstrated the failing. And it has been the most liberating experience as a manager and as an employee there, honestly. The things that we give strange names to, like imposter syndrome, all those reasons we don't feel like we're quite doing it, RV just puts its finger on it, tells you about it, and then you fix it. And that's been incredible. And that also helps us when we're talking about hourly optimizations of campaigns. And a performance mindset, the hands are on the dial, right? That's sort of the foundation of everything that we're talking about. So what does that actually mean? Well, how are we going to market with this? I've heard a lot of people talk today about scale. Is it scale? Is it brand? Authority to us is the new scale. You don't get authority without scale. So that's sort of table stakes. But when you're talking about your power to drive results, it is not all based on arbitrage eyeballs. It's what your brand means and how that's actually translated into the results it can drive. So yeah, of course we are talking about SEO a lot here. The Google Search Radar Guidelines, EEAT, everyone, who follows that? You know, they just added in an E. Experience is the new first E. Expertise, authority, and trust. That's what gauges where you rank on that SERP, the search engine results page. Experience means you actually can show you have your hands on the product that you're reviewing. Expertise is that's demonstrable. Trust is length of time on the internet. Authority, similar. Our domain authority score at CNET is a 94. It's incredibly high. Times is 1 tick higher. I've been told by the SEO experts that I learn from every day that once you get into the 90s, each tick really, really, really matters. So 94 is quite high. We are also higher than a lot of the clients we go out and pitch to, and that's a part of our pitch. Brand valued reconsidered. Yes, I have done that pitch, right, where you're talking about your brand equity and my brand equity, and if we combine these things, all boats rise. We're thinking less about it as a halo and more about it as a performance driver, right? The fact that we do rank #1 in over 1,000 high-value search terms that you are also trying to rank in. How do we all get together there? And of course, it does help that CNET is a powerful brand, because if you're trying to do this model with only, the 250 other publishers versus that anchor in that model, it wouldn't work. We did just launch our data platform. It's called Velocity. It is not dissimilar to, I'm sure, a lot of data platforms that y'all have. There's the y'all again, I can't stop. But a lot of the signals that are being pulled into it are from transactions that are being informed by our network of sites And that makes this very, very powerful. We are also starting to ingest data from our testing facilities in Kentucky, over 25 years of CNET product testing data, and just loading it all up. And if you've ever done this before, you know connecting the pipes is some of the hardest part of it. So a lot of the work in the last 2 years has been connecting the pipes to make velocity a reality, and now finding different ways we can deploy it for our partners. So this is the foundation on which we build everything. And how do we start to talk about this to brands? This is a few slides from our retail go-to-market, but we use them throughout. Every 2 seconds, a consumer is transacting through our brands. It's true. It's funny marketing math, but it's true. The CNET group has intentional buyers. We sometimes say that we have folks who are making considered purchases. These aren't CPG products, which are incredibly difficult, right? When you're thinking about managing conversion and yield, these are televisions, laptops, home appliances. We have 210 million intent sessions. It's the majority of our sessions. We have a means of defining an intent versus a discover session. We drive over $800 million in GMV for our partners annually. That's from CNET, one site. And we do this at scale. So on a daily basis, that's 40,000 transactions across the RV universe. Talking about full funnel, this is what we say we can do, and we can do it. We have a shoppable suite. It's funny, the manifestation of them is not too much different from media products, right? Because you still need a widget to transact on, and no one is reinventing the wheel, but the foundation on which it's laid is, I think, what's unique. We have something we call RV Shop. It's shoppable experiences on site. We have social commerce, again, optimizing regularly off-site. We have high impact, right? We have shopping tentpoles that are against shopping days, where we have the majority of our traffic spiking, like Prime Day. We sell a ton of high impact media. Isn't that great? Somebody still does. Yes, display is waning, totally agree. But on the foundation of this type of pitch, we still sell display, and we're gonna get to what that looks like in actuality. And we also have MyMove, which is a partnership with the United States Postal Service, where we're a marketing arm for everyone who changes their address to move. And that's a powerful input into our data platform. So here's a case study in how it all came together. And I will say that it has not been decisive and confident in figuring out how to pull all of these things together, right? We needed, as always, a case study to really figure out how we were even going to pull together those analysts who are being trained in performance with folks like me who can do the brand sell, right? And this was when it all started to make sense. GameStop came to us with a 5-figure social test budget, right? See a lot of those. Like, put someone on that, let's figure it out, I don't know. They wanted to position themselves as more than just a video game store. They were really getting into PC gaming. PC gaming gear is expensive. People spent a lot of money on it. There's a lot of Reddits about that, right? They wanted a prompt reconsideration. They wanted to emphasize PC. They wanted to drive volume and clicks. Like every partner wants to hit 1 million KPIs at once, right? Heavy up on key days, so there were media KPIs involved, and hit both enthusiast and casual gamers. And if you've ever worked in gaming, those are two vastly different audiences, right? So it started with a test budget, and that 5-figure test budget became a multi-million-dollar full-year commitment. How did we actually do it? And this is not a great technical data story. This is media planning. We did a lot of high impact to prime the audience, to get them ready for the messaging that was to come that might have been lower funnel. We did good old pre-roll, works for the same reason. We did sponsorships of things like gift guides around peak moments. We also made branded content to start to move down that funnel and talk more. We sent an editor into GameStop to buy a PC gaming rig and watched as she set up in our offices. That was on TikTok and distributed. We did shoppable social, which is now towards the bottom of that funnel, where you're seeing the content manifest in a carousel with buy links. And we also integrated those buy links in certain pages on our sites. And we did it all together. And we had a very strong lead for this in our ops team who had a vision for how this could roll. So it's essentially media planning the way an agency might media plan it, where you as the publisher might be one component of this plan. We said we're going to do the whole thing in the full funnel. And we're not going to retarget in name. We're not going to pixel people and retarget them, but we're going to hit them all at the same time and know that based on their interest in this content, which is specific, and the fact that we are spending within a given period across multiple platforms, we're going to hit them again. It worked so well. And when you open up those reports and you're like, was this crazy? Every single measure was green. We did a disco report. We did a Place IQ report to measure in-store. Every metric was off the charts. Shoppable social, 2 times our internal benchmark. Brand lift, when they say significant, statistically significant lift in all measures. Double-digit lift in those measures. Significant lift in place visit rate for the stores. And in commerce, great increase in commerce, 70% AOV, 400K plus clicks. It's through our partner Rakuten, and we actually won the Rakuten Golden Link Award. That's our lovely affiliate team accepting it. So when I tell you that I can tell you exactly what those folks are doing over on the ad sales side, that's the degree to which we're integrated. So now, when we talk about what we just said, which is really hard to put your finger on, it's not really a product. You're not really saying, hey, this is our social product, this is our ad product. It's sort of like a service, right? It's a way of thinking that's very much founded on our data. We are calling it RV Journey, which is powered by Velocity. We have just started to use that language in market. It's not going to be for everyone, right? We know that partners are still going to want to buy us on their terms, and that's fine. We're open for business, as we all are all the time. However you'd like to buy us, we will be bought. But when you do have a more strategic ask, right, you are trying to drive a multitude of KPIs, or you do want to do media but also see low funnel results, this is the way we're going to market. What's next in these areas for us? We are testing social SEO. That's like a hot topic. Actually managing TikTok search the way you would Google SEO, not a thing. But we are learning that social presence can boost traditional SEO. So we are constantly testing and learning within that area. Authority building content. Oh my God, if I can go in and put a space between building and content, I would. My little marketer brain is exploding. It's totally my fault. So we are doing what we're calling authority building content. So some of our most savvy affiliate partners, and we do still do affiliate partnerships the way many of you do, which is just, flat fee integrations, the things that we do. Some of our savviest are understanding that if they do organically rank high on some of our best lists, and those lists are still very church and state. Having worked at the New Yorker, I can tell you to that degree. If they are ranking organically there, if they're the number 1 or the 2nd rank, and we build a body of content that increases our authority in their area, that list will rise, and they will rise along with it. So it's an organic way that is not integration of increasing their commerce results. And that's been a really amazing discovery. And we're working on how to take that out. And zero party, which we just heard about. We have a unit at RV called the inline unit. It runs across our entire ecosystem. It is really just in the well, but it's great for a quick poll, for a quiz, for a rate table, which is a big part of what we do in our finance vector. And you can just enrich a segment quite easily from that. So those qualifying questions, so that you're not the creepy first date, you're asking the right questions, and then building your understanding of that person is something that really contributes to the funnel as well. One more thing that I didn't put on this slide last night that we've also found is some correlation between our licensing partners, and I know that's often like another realm of our revenue streams as publishers, our licensing partners and our affiliate partners. And that might not be an aha moment to too many folks, but we're seeing correlation there because there's sort of like lower level buy-ins, and we're trying to find a way to merge those things. How can we have a compelling product that combines badging, licensing, accolades with more of a commerce lead-in. That's what I've got.
What, do we have time for a quick question? Anybody has a question, Carrie? Sorry. Wait, oh, sorry.
Good morning. I'm Scott Sandlin with Winmo. And quick question. So on the sales side, are you trying to primarily penetrate at the brands, or are you going more to agencies? And, you know, after COVID, it's been so hard to get, you know, an audience. And how do you guys do that?
Everything, everywhere, all at once, right? Of course, as we all do, we prefer client. And we're probably all thinking we're on the journey to client. But we are still getting RFPs and answering RFPs every day. We found that operationally separating the teams that do those things is helpful to us, because there's a proactivity and a modeling part of going to clients directly with this type of pitch that is separate from being great at RFP work. But we are still doing agency outreach and direct client outreach, for sure.
We are going to have a roundtable on the topic of content and commerce in about 20 minutes. I hope, Carrie, you'll be able to join. And thanks very much for that.